My name is Ethan Andreas Mativela. I'm the chairman of Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association, the authentic one. I have my team here before me and other members of the association. I would like to welcome the media fraternity, and also thank you for coming. We, as the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association, we have a message we would want to share with the rest of the nation. Our major issue today is about constitutionalism. Of course, we have other issues at hand, but today we would want to deal with the aspect of constitutionalism, which deals with the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe. As an association, we regard the Constitution as sacrosanct. Allow me to go into the written message. Then from time to time, maybe I will elaborate here and there. I address you, my compatriots, today, the 27th day of January in the year 2025, on a matter that is not only topical in the political discourse of the country, but one that could have far-reaching implications for the people of Zimbabwe and the world at large. The matter stems from the resolution of Zanu PF party, which was held in October 2024 in Bulawayo. Before proceeding, I want to make it abundantly clear that as an association, we are non-partisan. We are politicians, but as an association, we are non-partisan. Therefore, not a member or an affiliate of Zanu PF. And also that Zimbabwe, as a democratic country, allows all to express themselves in a manner they feel appropriate without violating the Constitution. When some of our comrades in arms came to you yesterday, and I'm talking of Comrade Geza, to express their views on the leadership of Comrade Mnangagwa, they were not representing the association, but were just exercising their democratic rights. As such, it is not our policy to comment on or interfere with the internal democratic process of a political party. It is the right of any political formation to come up with their resolutions. Our interest is drawn when such resolutions interfere with the national governing institution like the Constitution. We shall therefore address ourselves on the impact of Zanu PF resolution to extend the term of office of current president beyond constitutional limit. A constitution of a country is not just supreme law of the land, but also provides national bearing, which guides a country navigating sometimes treacherous global environment. Any adjustment to this bearing, no matter how small, has far-reaching consequences for the nation and its relations with the international community. We believe any adjustment to the Constitution should be contemplated only when failure to adjust would hinder national progress. Therefore, the first point of call would be to identify the problem that, if not attended to constitutionality, would impede national progress. So we are asking ourselves, what made it, or what necessitated the ruling party to want to amend the Constitution? That's where we would want to know. The need to extend President E.D. Mnangagwa's term of office to 2030 or beyond cannot be viewed as a national problem at all. The Revolutionary Party identified the need for him to complete projects he started to legitimize the term extension, but in actual fact, that rationality is an indictment to the party's succession process management. Meaning that I don't think that would justify to extend someone's rule, would justify to tamper with the Constitution. While it is not our place to wade in succession battles in any political formation, it is prudent to jolt Zanu PF's short memory by reminding them of the reasons why military launched Operation Restore Ligas in November 2017. Operation Restore Ligas was an intervention in Zanu PF where political temperatures, which were approaching a boiling point. It was that intervention that facilitated the resignation of late former President Mugabe. Hence, it was not a coup, in my view, but donozo. It was just to cool the temperatures. But that is subject for another day. It is now the same poor succession management that is threatening to engulf the nation. We would not want to think that it is the president who wants to cling to the throne, as was the case with Comrade Mugabe. For he made it abundantly clear that he was a constitutionalist who would respect the term limits set in the Constitution. In our view, it is the party that is taking the people for a ride. They passed a resolution that is ultra-virus to the Constitution without identifying any constitutional problem. That's where our challenge, some of us find ourselves. Because then, if they had found a loophole in the Constitution or a problem in the Constitution itself, they were supposed to amend it, rather than just coming from the other way around. That attitude by ruling party was already being demonstrated on two amendments already effected on the current Constitution. It would be unfair to just heap blame on Zanu PF without making reference to the legislators themselves. Our legislatures are obliged to uphold the Constitution, including making sure that it is clearly understood by the people. The need and importance to publicize the Constitution was realized at outset, and Section 7 charged the state with the responsibility of promoting public awareness of the Constitution. Of importance was the requirement to translate it into all officially recognized languages and disseminating it as widely as possible, and that be taught in schools as part of the curricula for training of members of the security services, the civil service, and members and employees of public institutions. That has not taken place. As we speak, the majority of, including myself, I have no clear understanding of the Constitution. These are the things that our honorable members should be insisting on before any amendment was contemplated. Now people are asked to consider amending a constitution they have very little understanding of. Of course, people accepted the constitution through a referendum, but its detailed understanding would only be possible through further reading and adequate publicity. Amending it before it is understood facilitates its manipulation by those in the know, in that taking people of Zimbabwe for a ride. Let's look at the amendment of the Constitution. Amending a constitution must not be trivialized as we seem to be doing. Amending the Lancaster House Constitution, for instance, within a year of the effective date was necessary because sections or part amended were an impediment to national development, both socially and economically. The first amendment was effected by Act number 27 of 81 for black advancement. That was the whole purpose of hurriedly putting in place, or affirmative action. The original Lancaster House provisions required appointees to the Senate Legal Committee and the Judicial Service Commission to be lawyers of not less than 7 years' experience. The new government immediately realized that few blacks had requisite number of years of experience to qualify for appointment, and yet it was imperative in the new political dispensation for blacks to be appointed to key institutions. That's justifiable enough. The second amendment was effected by Act number 25 of 81 for its establishment of the Supreme Court. Although was no change of substance, the motivation for amendment was not only to create a new look court, it was also consistent with the practice of other countries. Now, let's compare this with the first two amendments to the 2013 Constitution. One was on the youth quota in Parliament. Here there was no substance, but just to bolster legislative Section 20 of the Constitution by ensuring that youth are represented at the legislative level. But a closer examination, ladies and gentlemen, will reveal that Section 2020 adequately covered most of the youth requirements. By haphazardly amending the Constitution, legislators facilitated the creation of a dynasty by the executive. The president influenced the president influenced the election of his politically unknown son to Parliament through a youth quota, and subsequently appointed him deputy minister. While everything seemed to be above board and legitimate, that act alone violated the provisions of Section 18 of the Constitution. Having 3 members from same family in the executive arm of government is definitely not fair. Regional representation as envisioned by the Constitution. Then we had the removal of running presidential mates. We are talking of the vice president.